Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna read through. It's just not much. It's just some things. It's a lot to read, but I highlighted the really important parts. Right here it says, non-stop low-grade stress contributes directly to physical deterioration, adding to the risk of heart attack, stroke, infection, and asthma. Even recovery from cancer becomes harder. Now, cancer is something that I'm going to have to start looking out for because I have like a 50% chance of having the gene because my mom had it. Um, Luckily, I don't, and she had colon cancer, so I'm gonna have to start getting like colonoscopies and stuff. But I don't have to do it until I'm about like 30ish, 40ish, because she was diagnosed when she was 50, and you only have to start checking like 10 to 20 years before when they were diagnosed. Also, it says down here, the effects of stress start in the brain and extend through the action of hormones to reach all corners of the body. Scientists define emotional stress as a negative reaction to a perceived threat or problem, which I guess is a given. Here's a lot of short stuff that that I underlined here on this one. Um, this is and a lot of this is actually interesting. So you might not want to fast forward through all this. Nagging inflammation and genetic twists that steer cells off. Wait. Oh, the evidence centers on nagging inflammation and genetic twists that steer cells off of a healthy course. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, like, um, just the inflammation, which is what all this is, what all that tension is, it fucks with my cells and shit and makes them unhealthy. Then it says, in the 1980s, we were still in the dark ages on this stuff. So that helped a lot to know that, like, when my mom was going through all this and stuff, uh, like I shouldn't be following my mom's advice and stuff on this because she grew up in like the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. So even in the 80s, they were still in the dark ages on this stuff. So that helped a lot. It says a stressed brain triggers rampant a stressed brain triggers rampant hormone release, which leads to imbalanced immunity and long-term physical wear and tear. Uh, so there's that. Men in the lowest level jobs were more than 3 times likely to die of heart problems. I don't know why I think I may have just underlined that because I'm not in a low level job, but then again, I don't have a job, so I don't know if that applies to me. Um, by 2003, the study had linked heart disease in both sexes with high job demands. Now, I don't have a job that I need to go to, but for those that don't know, I fucking stress the shit out of myself. Like I have two of my text documents here. One of them is stuff to get around to, and then stuff to get around to, in parentheses, desk. So it's like stuff to get around to, like on the computer, like on video games and like WoW and like bills and just accounts and shit I need to set up and all that kind of stuff. And then the other stuff is stuff I need to get around to that doesn't take place here. So, and every day, like I can't get sleep unless I cross a couple of these things off the list every day. Otherwise, I just don't feel like I've accomplished much. So I guess that could count as a job, but maybe not. I don't know. But I still underlined it for that reason. Um, what else? Stroke survivors were more likely to have a type A profile and a high stress history. And then it says type A personalities are those hard driving competitive types. Now I don't know if that's me because I'm not really competitive, but I'm definitely hard driving. I definitely have a lot of fucking willpower. Like anything I want, I'm pretty good at making happen. Like it takes a lot to. I only quit when there's no other option. Is a good way to put it. When there's no other options is when I quit. And there's no other route. Um, this one says minor everyday stressors have an impact on immune responses. So that helped a lot. Just knowing that even just minor stuff can add up. Um, lonely people, this one's good. Lonely people are more apt to have high blood pressure, fragmented sleep, and diminished immunity. So what I've learned, and this is another reason why I'm starting to just go up and talk to people, is that basically if I want to live, I need to be fucking social. Like I've been locked up in these apartments and these houses for too long. It's not just and it's like, yes, I can deal with it mentally, but at this point it's going to start it's going to start killing me. I need interaction with people. I need to go out and I need to make friends. So I'm going to go to the skate park a lot more often. I'm going to interact with people a lot more often, because at the end of the day, it's that or I'm going to die. Okay? Like, it's that simple. Like, I need to interact with people. As much as I hate it, it's something that I'm just going to have to do. And it says right here, we survived and prospered by banding together. It says, early in our history as a species, we survived and prospered by by banding together in couples, in families, and in tribes to provide mutual protection and assistance. The aversive feeling of loneliness serves to prompt us to renew the connections we need. So my brain, when I'm this alone, makes me feel like I've been shunned out of people and I've been pushed out of the tribe, when really it's just me doing it. But that adds to the stress and adds to the self-loathing and me hating myself, at least at a subconscious level. This is also very important. Finding oneself on the social perimeter is not just sad, but also dangerous. That's exactly what I'm saying. It says it right there. Finding yourself on the just the perimeters of things is not sad. It's not just sad. It's dangerous. I didn't know that until now. I did not know that it was dangerous. Now this one, this actually doesn't apply to me, but I'll read it anyway, because you may have like a girlfriend or a mother or somebody in this position. Caregivers frequently wind up on the frayed edge of their social circle because they spend a lot of time with an ill spouse or patient. Caregivers are often lonely even though they aren't alone, and they become chronically stressed. They show poor immune defense against infectious diseases. May have been what happened to my mom. I don't know. Now this is a really important one right here. Norepinephrine and its cousin epinephrine, also known as adrenaline — I didn't know epinephrine was adrenaline, so that helped a lot — are stress hormones that act like fuel for some cancers, including prostate cancer. They help tumors build and the blood vessels they need to nourish themselves to grow. That's scary. Then it says, those who reported good social support had more immune attacked cells directed at these masses. Sood and his colleagues reported I guess Sood is a doctor, and his colleagues reported in 2005. A stressed brain trips, listen to this one. A stressed brain trips excessive release of epinephrine, which remember is adrenaline, and norepinephrine, plus the stress hormone cortisol. Like all hormones, these molecules exert their effects by binding to receptor proteins and on cells, changing the cell's behavior. That's some deep shit. Rewind that if you need to, because that's some deep shit. Oh, and this actually also helped. I've learned that my chances of going into like cardiac arrest and heart failure, it's kind of an oxymoron fear, if that's the right way to put it, because it says epinephrine is what they use to help resuscitate a person in cardiac arrest. So really the only people whose hearts give out are people with lack of that fight or flight mentality. Really what I have to worry about is like a heart attack, not heart failure. I mean, not even that I have to worry about that, but I'm just saying, if I was to worry about one, cardiac arrest is not the one. I have this one circled. It's kind of long. But an everyday steady release of stress hormones trips other switches throughout the body in a drumbeat that steadily poisons the system, spreading biological changes like wildfire. For instance, epinephrine and norepinephrine normally keep a leash on KF-kappa B, a master regulator of immune responses that is also considered an agent of inflammation. But overproduction of epinephrine and norepinephrine desensitizes these receptors. This bogs down signaling their ability to rein the NF-kappa B and inflammation. I gotta learn what NF-kappa B is. Only got 2 on this one. The body, this one helped a lot. The body is just trying to right the ship when too much cortisol is turned loose too frequently. The body adapts by muting the receptors. the cells stop paying attention. The receptors muting the receptors muting appears tied to professional burnout. Now, burnout is a condition marked by emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and a sense of diminished accomplishment, which I think has something to do with why I've been having to cross things off this list every day to get to sleep, because it seems like no matter how much I cross off, I'm still not satisfied. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much I get done, no matter how much I accomplish, no matter how much I achieve, I don't seem to get any happier. And that's only recent. So I think that really is tied to the burnout, because right there it says burnout is a condition marked by emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and a sense of diminished accomplishment. It also says burnout also involves a decreased capacity to cope with stress. It says chronic stress and chronic stress and systemic inflammation are tightly linked in people with asthma, particularly in inner cities. That doesn't apply to me, because especially now that I live out of Houston, but I thought that may help some people. Of course, there are many other asthma contributors, like the ozone, diesel exhaust, smoke. This is just, I don't know why I skip past all this asthma stuff. I don't have asthma. I think that's about it. Yeah, this last page I really wanted to go over. The negatives of chronic stress and inflammation extend down to the chromosomal level in other ways. When inflammatory genes get activated in people with high stress, their telomerase gets, I don't know what a telomere is, or their telomerase gets shortened. Oh, it says right here, telomeres are the tips that hold the chromosomes together, like the plastic ends of shoelaces, and prevent unraveling. So that's important to know. Then it says, why stress affects some people more than others is still unclear. Researchers are examining variant forms of genes encoding the receptors for stress hormones and immune signaling proteins. Then it says, epigenetic changes and variant forms of the receptors genes were associated with stress from exposure to violence and appear linked to stress risk. Lastly, it says antidepressant and anti-anxiety medications can help, as can beta blocker drugs, which is all three of these, besides antidepressant. The lingering question is whether improved social, this is important. The lingering question is whether or not improved social support and self-practices can halt physical ravages of stress. So I guess we're going to figure that out by me changing my lifestyle over the next while. But yeah, lastly, it says right here, chronic stress ultimately predicts disease, mainly inflammation, which is what all this is. And then it says people who have supportive, close relationships have lower levels of systemic inflammation compared to people who have cold, supportive, conflict-ridden, or non-existent relationships. And then right here, this is my reason why I need to get out and skate. I don't know if you can see that. This is the reason why I need to get out and skate more than just once a week, because the people, they did a control group, they did a meditation group, a yoga group, and an exercise group. And the exercise group that did like vigorous exercise every day had the least amount of anxiety attacks through the year and the least amount of sick days, like days that they were sick. So definitely need to get out and be skating more than once a week. So there's that. Then I wrote down here, these are just things that help me personally, just conclusions that I've come to, which is, oh, I'm sorry, the thing just went. The light is always there for you. That helped a lot right there. See that? The light is always there for you. It's like a bus. Like, it's always going to come back around. And that was very important to learn, was that, like, just because I'm dark now and it feels dark, it's like no matter what, inevitably the light is still going to come back around. It's inevitable. It's that yin yang shit. I can't avoid it. I'm going to be happy eventually. Hold on, I got to do the next video.